Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world where respect is often mistaken for popularity, authority, or even fear. But true respect, the kind that lasts, the kind that builds movements, teams, and legacies, cannot be demanded. It must be earned. Respect doesn't come from having a title. It comes from how you carry yourself when no one's watching. It's not measured by how loudly you speak, but by how deeply you listen. And if you're not earning the respect you believe you deserve, maybe it's time to stop looking outward and start looking inward. Today, we talk not about what to add, but what to remove. Because before you can build a reputation of integrity, strength, and leadership, you must clear the path. So here are 5 habits you must remove to earn real, lasting respect. 1. The habit of needing to be right. If your ego needs to win every conversation, you've already lost. The need to be right silences others. It shuts down dialogue, it creates fear instead of trust. Respect grows when people feel safe to challenge you, and when you have the humility to say, "I was wrong." 2. The habit of gossip. Nothing erodes respect faster than talking behind someone's back. Gossip doesn't make you look wise or well-informed, it makes you look weak. Leaders who inspire respect speak to people, not about them. Build a culture of courage, not whispers. 3. The habit of playing the victim. You are not powerless. When you blame everyone else, your boss, your team, your past, you trade your influence for sympathy. People respect those who take ownership. Stop pointing fingers, start taking responsibility. That's leadership. 4. The habit of overpromising and underdelivering. Your word is your brand. If you say you'll do it, do it. Excuses don't earn trust. Follow through does. Say less, deliver more. People respect those who keep their promises, especially when it's hard. 5. The habit of seeking validation. If you're constantly chasing approval, you'll always be someone else's version of yourself. Respect isn't earned by being liked, it's earned by being authentic. Show up consistently, even when it's uncomfortable. The world doesn't need perfect, it needs real. We all have an instinctive desire to be right. It feels good. It validates our intelligence, confirms our world view, and gives us a sense of control. But the constant need to be right is one of the most destructive habits when it comes to earning respect. It turns conversations into competitions, relationships into power struggles, and teams into battlefields. When someone is always trying to prove they're right, they're unconsciously sending a message that being correct matters more than being connected. That dominance is more important than dialogue. But here's the truth. People don't respect you because you're always right. They respect you when you're open to being wrong. Being right might win you a debate, but being humble enough to admit you're wrong wins trust, loyalty, and influence. When you drop the need to always be right, something powerful happens. You create space for growth. You stop defending old beliefs and start embracing better ones. You stop listening to respond and start listening to understand. In that moment, people stop seeing you as arrogant and start seeing you as wise. Because wisdom doesn't come from knowing everything. It comes from knowing you don't. Think about the most respected leaders in your life. The ones who inspired you, taught you, challenged you. Were they the ones who always insisted on being right? Or were they the ones who asked questions, who listened deeply, who made room for your perspective even when it contradicted their own? Respect grows when we show the courage to say, "I don't know." It deepens when we acknowledge you might have a better way. It multiplies when we admit, "I made a mistake." And this isn't just about interpersonal relationships, it's about culture. In organizations where leaders insist on being right, creativity dies, innovation slows, people go silent. They stop offering new ideas because they know they'll be shut down. They stop asking questions because they don't want to look foolish. But in environments where leaders are curious, humble, and open to learning, people speak up, they engage, they grow. That's where respect flourishes, not in the shadow of perfection, but in the light of vulnerability. Letting go of the need to be right also means letting go of fear. Because behind every defensive argument is a fear of being exposed, of being wrong, of losing credibility. But ironically, it's the act of admitting fault that builds the deepest credibility. It shows others you are secure enough to not let your identity be defined by one moment of being wrong. It tells people you're not here to protect your ego. You're here to pursue truth, and people respect that. They remember that, they follow that, because the world doesn't need more people who are always right. It needs more people who are willing to get it right. Gossip is one of the most corrosive habits a person can carry, especially in leadership or collaborative environments. It might seem harmless in the moment, a whispered comment, a private opinion shared under the guise of concern, a story told just between us. But every time gossip enters the room, trust begins to quietly leave. Respect cannot survive in an atmosphere where people fear that their names are being spoken without their presence. The moment you become known for gossip, people stop confiding in you, stop trusting you, and start keeping their distance. They might laugh with you, nod along, even share their own stories, but underneath that surface, the foundation of trust begins to crack. Gossip is seductive because it gives a false sense of power. It positions you as someone in the know, someone with inside information. It builds a false connection between you and the person you're speaking to, as if the shared secret strengthens the bond. But the truth is, if you speak poorly about someone who isn't in the room, the person you are speaking to will start to wonder what you say when they're not around. You might be trying to build closeness, but you're actually creating suspicion. You're sending a signal, I value entertainment over integrity. It doesn't matter how skilled, experienced, or charismatic you are. If you gossip, people will question your character. Gossip says more about the speaker than the subject. It reveals insecurity, immaturity, and a need to elevate oneself by diminishing others. When you participate in gossip, you're not just damaging someone else's reputation, you're eroding your own. You become someone who is unsafe, someone whose loyalty has conditions, someone who cannot be trusted when the stakes are high or when silence is required. And in the workplace, that reputation sticks. People will work with you because they have to, but they won't respect you, they won't open up to you, they won't follow you. Removing gossip as a habit requires self-awareness and courage. It requires understanding that just because something is true doesn't mean it needs to be said. It requires shifting your mindset from one of judgment to one of compassion. Instead of talking about people, talk to them. Give them the dignity of a direct conversation. Address conflict with courage, not with whispers. Replace gossip with feedback. Replace rumor with curiosity. Ask questions. Assume positive intent. When you hear someone speaking negatively about another person, have the strength to redirect the conversation or walk away. What you tolerate, you endorse. There's also an internal element to gossip, a voice that justifies it. I'm just venting. It's not really gossip if it's true. They deserve it. That voice will always try to disguise gossip as something noble, rational, or harmless. But underneath, it's the same thing, a breakdown of integrity disguised as connection. You don't earn respect by tearing someone down in their absence. You earn it by protecting the space where they're not there to defend themselves. The victim mentality is a trap, an invisible cage that keeps people small, stuck, and silent. It's the voice that whispers, "This isn't your fault," when things fall apart. It convinces you that life is happening to you instead of through you. And while it might offer temporary comfort, it steals your power in the long run. Living in victim mode might win you sympathy, but it will never win you respect. People might feel sorry for you, they might even cheer you on for a moment, but deep down, they won't see you as someone capable of leading, influencing, or overcoming. Respect isn't given to those who constantly blame others. It's given to those who take ownership, even in the face of unfairness. When you make a habit of seeing yourself as the victim, you start to see obstacles as permanent and people as threats. Every challenge becomes someone else's fault. Your boss is toxic, your coworkers are unsupportive, your clients are unreasonable, your upbringing was too harsh, your opportunities too limited. And while there may be truth in some of those situations, dwelling in blame gives you no leverage to change them. Growth only begins when you shift from "why is this happening to me?" to "what can I do about it?" That shift, from powerlessness to accountability, is where self-respect begins. And the moment you start respecting yourself, others begin to do the same. People respect those who take charge of their circumstances, who face adversity with grit and determination, not those who wallow in it. Leadership isn't about having a perfect life. It's about showing others how to rise even when the odds aren't in your favor. And the most influential people aren't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who took what life gave them and made something meaningful out of it. They stopped waiting for someone to rescue them. They decided that no matter how unfair or difficult their situation was, they still had the power to respond with strength. It's important to understand that victimhood is not always loud and obvious. Sometimes it hides behind sarcasm, self-pity, or constant complaining. It shows up in conversations that circle around what's wrong but never focus on solutions. It shows up in stories that end in bitterness instead of breakthrough. And worst of all, it becomes a part of your identity. You start to believe that struggle is who you are, not just what you've experienced. But people don't follow titles. They follow energy, and the energy of blame repels trust, while the energy of accountability attracts admiration. Breaking free from the victim mindset doesn't mean pretending everything's okay. It means acknowledging your pain without being ruled by it. It means facing your past, your wounds, your setbacks, and then choosing to move forward anyway. It means refusing to be defined by what happened to you, and instead being known for how you responded. Respect is drawn to that kind of courage. People are inspired by those who refuse to give their story over to bitterness. Promises are not just words, they are the currency of trust. Every time you say, "I'll do it," "I've got this," or "you can count on me," you're making a small deposit into someone's trust account. But when you don't follow through, when you fall short without explanation, when you consistently underdeliver, those deposits turn into withdrawals. Eventually, the account runs dry, and once trust is depleted, respect doesn't just fade, it collapses. People don't remember everything you say, but they absolutely remember whether or not you did what you said you would. That memory shapes how they see you, as dependable or inconsistent, as committed or careless, as worthy of respect or not. The habit of overpromising is often born from a desire to please. You want to impress, to be seen as capable, to say yes to everything. But when that yes isn't backed by action, it doesn't build your reputation, it breaks it. It's not enough to have good intentions. Intentions are invisible. What people experience is your behavior, your delivery, your consistency. You may have meant well, but meaning well doesn't carry weight in a world that runs on results. Respect isn't reserved for those with ambition, it's earned by those who execute. People are watching even when they say nothing. They're noticing if you meet deadlines, if you show up on time, if you keep your word even when it's inconvenient. When you say you'll do something and then don't, what you're really communicating is that your word is conditional, only valid when it's easy, when it's comfortable, when nothing else gets in the way. That inconsistency sends a loud message. You can't be fully relied on, and nothing erodes respect faster than that kind of uncertainty. On the other hand, when your actions match your words, people begin to believe in you, not because you demand their respect, but because you've proven that you're accountable. You become known as someone who delivers without drama, without excuses, without shifting blame. And that kind of reliability is magnetic. People want to work with you, follow you, support you, not because you talk the loudest, but because you show up when it matters most. You become someone whose word carries weight, whose promises mean something. That's not just professional credibility, that's personal integrity. There's also a discipline that comes with doing what you say. It forces you to evaluate your commitments before you make them. It teaches you to say no when necessary, to protect your focus and your energy so you can deliver fully on the things that matter most. It reshapes your relationship with time, with accountability, and with excellence. And in that process, you build a reputation that speaks louder than any pitch, louder than any speech, louder than any resume. People stop needing to ask if you'll come through. They already know, because you've made it a pattern, a habit, a way of being. That's when respect becomes automatic, not because of what you promise, but because of what you consistently prove.